Hey guys, what is up? It is another day, another week, another opportunity, another chance. Oh, excuse me. For me to come and hang out with you guys and y'all guys to come hang out with me. So I appreciate y'all coming out and hanging out and taking some time to watch this video. I'm actually not going to do my little long intro I do because, today I'm going to testify. And the reason that is because actually the other night while I was laying down and I was thinking and I was kind of praying of, God, what do you want me to talk about next? What do you want me to do next? What's next? What do you want me to have to talk about? And so I kind of laid there for a second, and then I heard a voice say, testify. And I heard again, testify. So I was like, okay. That's not nothing, that phrase, that sentence, it's not nothing new to me, okay? It's not nothing new. It's, something growing up in the church I've heard before and I've heard people do. And, I've heard pastors say, hey, who wants to testify this? And I've heard people testify about God and everything. And then the other morning on the radio, it was actually Monday, yesterday, I was listening to a gentleman on the radio that was preaching. I don't really remember his name, but it's kind of interesting because he actually, is right about as the time I turned the radio on as I was heading to work, he started talking about testifying and talking about the Great Commission and going out and you testify and you win people to Christ by testifying and tell them about what he does. And that's kind of what my channel is all about, is I'm here to testify his word, testify his truth. Okay, so now some of y'all might say, what is testify? Testify is actually when you give evidence as witness, or you serve, or you prove, you have evidence, or you show proof of something, of its existence. So a lot of people might understand it as testimony. You give your testimony, okay? I know my very first video that I have, speaking of, I do have a YouTube channel. Put the link into the thing here later. But in my first video, I kind of talked about it. But I think right now it's more prevalent than ever, just kind of because of what everything's going on and here, in 2020, but it's just to know that no matter what's going on, kind of what's been going on in the last couple of videos of, for one, not having, 2 weeks ago where I talked about not having, knowing what to say, not having the words to say. Well, you can testify, you can give your testimony, and that's really the beginning. That's what you can always start with. And then last week, I talked about how God is bigger than my sin, bigger than everything else. And my testimony shows that. Our testimonies show that God is bigger than everything else and that he's bigger than our sin, okay, because he changes, he renews us, okay. Why do we testify? Why do I need to come and testify? Why do us as Christians need to testify? Well, like it says Matthew 10:32, it says, therefore everyone who confesses me before men, I will confess him before my Father who is in heaven. Also Romans 10:9, that if you confess with your mouth Jesus as Lord and believe in your heart that God raised him from the dead, you will be saved, okay? And so that's what I'm going to be here for today. That's what I'm going to talk about today. I'm going to try and keep it short as possible, but hell, who knows? I'm sorry if it just sounded like I said a bad word. I didn't. It was just the transition, but I probably shouldn't have pointed out because nobody might notice, but I just didn't want y'all to know I didn't actually say anything. But with that being said, I'm here to testify, okay? And I'm testifying the change that God's made in me and the renewance that he's made in me. I've talked about my story before. I got saved in 6th grade. I found my calling when I was 17. And I had all this going for me. And kind of like Jonah in a way, I ran away. I really did. I joined the military. Part of the reason, I haven't told a lot of people this, if anything, really, I joined the military to get away, to run away. I really did. I wanted to seek out on my own. I wanted to do my own thing, and I just felt pressured as being a leader, and pressured as just this, that, and the other, and everything going on. And so I kind of ran away. And during those 4 years, I started a channel. It didn't go very far. I stopped going to church. I started to turn to other things. I started to turn to alcohol and video games and drugs, and I probably just blew a lot of people's minds that know me. But that's what I turned to. I did. And Mom, I'm sorry. My mom doesn't know, but now she knows because she'll watch this. I don't do it anymore because God's changed me. But that's something I turned to. And I still, even through these times, I would drink and I would I would do these things to make myself feel better. And what's bad is I knew why I felt this way. Um, but the thing is it just shows why I should testify, because the amount of alcohol I would consume or the drugs I would take at the same time while I was consuming alcohol. I know a lot of people say this, but I really shouldn't be here. I really shouldn't, and just some of the stupid decisions I made while I was in the military. Um, I'm just blessed and highly favored that the Lord, forgave me, and He still pursued me through all this. That's what's crazy is His love is so grand and His love is so great that He still pursued me through all this. That He still chased after me. That He still gave out a reaching hand, and because of that, as I was still going through it and all the depression and everything that I was going through, and I was trying to supplement only what He could, fill with these things, He still chased after me. One of my officers, oh, excuse me, my nose is, all of a sudden it started running. It's really weird. One of the officers I actually was stationed with, he was Christian, and he would invite me to church every week. He stayed up on me. He still checked in with me, and God provided that kind of source that I didn't have. And also part of it is one of those statistics, especially that you hear as a youth and you hear as a young adult and everything of, oh yeah, once you move away, a lot of kids, people leave. They're all high on Christ and they're all on fire for Christ, and then they expand down their own. They never turn back, and that's because of the foundation that we build ourselves on and we build our faith on. And obviously, I didn't build on a strong foundation, and it's not the fact that my youth pastors and my Sunday schools failed me, and that my parents failed me. They didn't. None of them people failed me. And actually, that's part of the reason too. Is I know that they prayed for me. They told me that they prayed for me, and I was on prayer lists and I was on prayer trains. They still prayed for me, and thank goodness they did, because I probably wouldn't be here. I probably wouldn't be able to be the father to two amazing children, the husband to an amazing wife, the son to amazing parents, and friends to just amazing people that I know. And I wouldn't have this opportunity to come reach people out. And because of this, that's kind of why this video is to testify of His great things, and to show y'all that, for one, I'm not perfect, and that everybody has a story. Some people, their story doesn't have a lot of craziness, and my story really doesn't have a lot of craziness. Yeah, I got into things that I know that I shouldn't have done, and I made some stupid decisions, but some people's stories are just way crazier, and they dive way farther. But the thing is God's love is still there for you, and He's still chasing after you. And when He does get a hold of you, and when you do get saved, and when He finally just overwhelms you, where you don't have a choice but to follow Him, to serve Him, because you realize how awesome He is. Be sure to testify, because people need to know this. Okay, people think that Christians are perfect. People think that they're never going to be good enough to be a Christian because of the stuff that they screwed up. And sometimes, you're going to be afraid. I've actually contemplated some of the stuff that I talked about, whether or not I was going to say it, and actually I wasn't going to. Even I was going to start out and then I wasn't, but I really felt that I need to say that. And if I turned some people off because of that, I'm sorry, but it's the truth. And I'm human. I screwed up. But the thing is, that's why God is so amazing. That's why Jesus is so amazing. That's amazing. And then, so also, just one quick thing too, is a lot of y'all, another thing is now y'all are probably like, man, this guy's not fit to preach. This guy's not fit to speak. This guy's not fit to make these videos. He's not fit to do this, that, and the other. And you're right. I'm not. I'm as far away as I should be. But you know what? Like it says in Psalm 46:1, it says, God is our refuge and God is our strength. And then also, if you look at John 3:16 and Romans 3:23, John 3:16, about just God loved the world so much that He gave His only Son to die for us. Okay, and then Romans 3:23, we've all fallen short of we've all fallen short of the glory of God, and we've all sinned. For we have all sinned and fallen short of the glory of God. But see, that's the amazing part about John 3:17 is, for He did not come to condemn the world, but to save the world. And Romans 3:24 talks about being renewed by His grace and being saved by His grace, and that's why I'm able to do what I am. I actually, I'm not here for me, and without Him, I wouldn't be able to do this. If He wouldn't have led me this way, I wouldn't be doing this, because I do feel like a bad person sometimes. I do feel like a terrible person sometimes. I do feel unworthy, because I really am. But the thing is God allows me. God gives me His righteousness by believing in His Son, by believing in Jesus. Jesus' righteousness is what shines through me. So I do know, even though sometimes I question myself and my salvation, I do know that when this world ends, when I meet, when I die, when I leave this body, I do know that I will be in heaven, and when I see Jesus, I know that He will say, "Well done, my good and faithful servant." And I know that when God sees me, He won't see my sin, He won't see my screw-ups, He won't see my mess-ups, but He'll see Jesus' righteousness, because I know that Jesus died on the cross. I know that He came down here to be with us, that He would die for me, that He went to the cross, and He was risen again so that I might be saved. And here's the thing is, another reason why we testify, and the reason why I'm doing this and just being so forward and being so blunt about everything, is because you can have this gift too. If you don't know Jesus today, if you don't know who God is, if you don't know this love, if you don't know this redemption, and you just feel like you just live under a rock and you're so lonely, here's another thing, is I'm a shy person. A lot of people that know me really well will say that I'm not, but I really am. I'm not a really big people person. So the fact that I do these videos is kind of absurd sometimes to me. And you might say, oh, it's just a video, you're not interacting with people. That's true, but I do get comments. I do have people watching it, so I do interact. But I've been able to be emboldened because the Lord's, let me practice in these videos talking to you guys, that I'm actually learning and becoming more bold in Christ, to be able to, when I step outside my door, when I step outside my room, when I step into work, when I step into church, when I step into the store, that I'm more bold and I'm more confident, because I know that I'm able to do this, for one, because I get to do this weekly or however often. I even have a chance to do small groups and everything like that. But the thing is that's because of God and what God's not. Nothing that I've done, nothing about the decisions I made, because without Jesus, without God, these decisions wouldn't be made possible. And like I said, if you don't know God and you want to know this redemption and you want to know this freedom, after I've said these things, I still feel kind of, but I'm glad I got off my chest, because, for one, that's a free burden for me. But it's out there, and I just want y'all to know that it's okay that if you messed up, it's okay if you're going down the wrong path, because there is a way out. There is a road to salvation. There is a road to redemption. That is through Jesus Christ. And like I mentioned before, John 3:16 says, "For God so loved the world that He gave His one and only Son, that whosoever believeth in Him shall not perish, but have everlasting life," guys. And it's just kind of what this says right here back in Romans 10, that if you confess with your mouth that Jesus is Lord, and that you do believe in His heart that God raised Him from the dead. So what that means is not, you don't believe that because of what somebody said, not because of what I said, not because of what you heard, but because you've witnessed it in your life, and you've you've witnessed this redemption of and this love that Jesus provides, even as He reaches out, as you read the Bible, or just whatever you experience, however God plans to show Himself to you. That if you truly believe that He was raised from the dead, and that you don't think it's just a story, but and it's true, that one day you'll be, and you have this relationship, that you'll actually get to meet Jesus, because of the fact that He is not dead, He is alive. It says you will be saved, okay, guys? And I just want to say right now that time is short, time is of the essence, and we never know when this world's going to end. I might not be able to get to post this video. I might not be able, stuff like that, and I might not be able to wake up tomorrow. I might not be able to talk to somebody. So the time is now. There's no better time than now. Not yesterday, not tomorrow, because you never know what will happen within the next 5 seconds, whether you maybe pass away, or the fact that something just happens, you just get super busy and you kind of just forget about it, like I do about things sometimes, and you never know, and this just kind of gets swept under the rug, and and you just miss this call that God just took on your heart because you're just going to get so busy and caught up in this world, just take the opportunity now and pray that prayer and just confess that you are a sinner, because we are sinners. I'm a sinner. But just confess that you are a sinner and that you really can't do anything. That you can't do anything in this life. You can't be anybody in this life without Jesus. And if you want to know your purpose, that you need Jesus. If you want to know this love and grace and redemption, you need Jesus. And just let them know that you love him and that you realize that you are a sinner, that you are weak, but he is strong. Okay, and just ask him in your heart, guys. And that's really all it is. It's a simple gift. It's a gift that's freely given. You just have to be willing to take it. All right, guys, with that being said, I really hope you enjoy my videos. I really hope you enjoy this time that you are able to spend with me and to spend with God. And really, don't just watch me for your in this case 16 minutes with God, but just take this as an encouragement as you go through your life, as you go through your daily walk of everything going on, to want to know more about God, to want to reach out to more, to be able to be bold, to be able to testify, and to be able to tell people some of your deepest, darkest secrets of, how God has changed you from what you were to what you are now. And with that being said, guys, I'll peace out, and I'll see y'all next week.